just opened a channel about the game Rush Royale. And if you want to truly understand how to play Wukong correctly, and why sometimes he feels completely overpowered, while other times he loses to weaker decks, this guide is for you. Most players make the same mistake when they start playing Wukong. They think he is just a strong legendary unit that wins games automatically. But the reality is different. Wukong is one of the most technical damage dealers in Rush Royale. If you play him correctly, he becomes extremely consistent and powerful. If you play him wrong, your entire board can collapse in the middle of the match. In this guide, we will break everything down, step by step. How Wukong works. His strongest advantages. His weaknesses. The best support units that massively increase his power. And the heroes and decks that counter him. But before we start, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. It really helps the channel grow and allows me to make more detailed Rush Royale guides like this one. Now, let's start with the basics. Wukong is a legendary DPS unit that builds his power through clone and scaling damage during the match. At the beginning of the game, he might not feel very strong. His attacks can look average and sometimes even weak compared to other damage dealers. But this is where many players misunderstand the hero. Wukong is not designed to dominate the early waves. His real power starts showing once the board is developed correctly and support units begin boosting his damage. His main mechanic is the clone system. When multiple Wukong units are placed on the board, they start working together and multiplying their overall damage output. This is why experienced players don't rush to create a single high-rank Wukong immediately. Instead, they build a stable board with multiple Wukong units. There is one important rule here. It is often much better to have several rank 2 or rank 3 Wukongs than one single rank 5 unit. A wider board gives you better scaling and more stability in the late game. If this tip already helped you understand the hero better, subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the video. More Rush Royale guides are coming. Now, let's talk about the biggest strengths of Wukong. The first major strength is scaling damage. The longer the match goes, the stronger Wukong becomes. As your board develops and your units increase in rank, the clone mechanics begin multiplying the damage across the entire field. This makes Wukong extremely strong in long matches where other decks begin to fall off. The second strength is consistency. Some DPS heroes depend heavily on lucky merges. If the merges fail, their board collapses. Wukong decks are much more stable once the setup is complete. When the board structure is correct, the damage output becomes very reliable. The third strength is synergy with support units. This is one of the biggest reasons Wukong can feel extremely strong. Certain support cards amplify his damage dramatically and allow him to clear waves much faster. The fourth strength is wave control. When the board is fully built, Wukong can clear enemy waves quickly and consistently. This gives you time to prepare for boss waves and manage your merges carefully. If you're enjoying the guide so far and want more Rush Royale strategy content, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It helps the video reach more players. Now, let's move to the weaknesses of Wukong. The first weakness is the early game. Wukong is not the strongest unit during the first waves. If you get unlucky with your starting cards or merge incorrectly, enemies can push very quickly. This is why mana management during the first rounds is extremely important. The second weakness is dependence on support units. Without proper support cards, Wukong's damage scaling becomes much slower. Some players try to run him without enough support, and the deck simply doesn't reach its full potential. The third weakness is vulnerability to bosses. Bosses like Tribunal or Bedlam can disrupt your board completely. If your formation gets destroyed, rebuilding a Wukong board can take time. That delay can sometimes cost you the match. If this breakdown is helping you improve your gameplay, subscribe to the channel and press the like button. It helps a lot. Now, let's talk about the most important part. The best support units for Wukong. These supports dramatically increase the power of the deck. The first support is Dryad. Dryad is incredibly valuable because it allows you to upgrade units without merging them. This means you can increase the rank of your Wukong units while keeping your board structure intact. This is extremely important for stability. The second support is Harlequin. Harlequin allows you to duplicate units. Early in the game, you can copy support cards to stabilize the board. Later in the match, you can duplicate Wukong units to build a stronger formation faster. The third support is Sword. Sword buffs increase the damage output of your units significantly. When multiple Wukong clones receive sword buffs, the total damage increases dramatically. This combination can melt enemy waves very quickly. The fourth support is Witch. Witch increases attack speed and damage potential. Faster attacks mean more damage per second, and that benefits Wukong greatly. The fifth support is Summoner. Summoner helps build the board faster by generating additional units. This is extremely useful in the early stages of the game when you need to stabilize the field. If you want more detailed deck guides and hero breakdowns, subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really supports the channel. Now let's talk about the heroes and decks that counter Wukong. Even strong heroes have weaknesses, and understanding counters helps you win more matches. The first dangerous opponent is Monk. Monk decks can generate massive burst damage once their formation is aligned correctly. If the Monk player completes their setup faster than you, they can overpower your board during mid-game waves. The second counter is Cultist. Cultist decks can scale extremely quickly when their formation is complete. Their burst damage can sometimes outpace Wukong before his clones fully scale. The third counter is Blade Dancer. Blade Dancer decks attack extremely fast when positioned correctly. Their speed can pressure Wukong decks before they reach full power. The fourth counter is Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter decks become stronger with merges. In long matches, they can sometimes outscale Wukong if the player gets enough high-rank units. The fifth counter is Robot decks. Robot decks rely heavily on merges and scaling. Once they reach momentum, their burst damage becomes very difficult to compete with. So how do you deal with these counters? The key is board timing. You must stabilize your board before the middle of the match. Once your field is set up with multiple Wukong units and support buffs, the scaling damage begins taking control of the game. Strong players focus on building several rank 2 and rank 3 Wukongs instead of chasing high-rank merges too early. This keeps the board flexible and protects you from boss mechanics. Another important tip is mana management. Many players spend too much mana early upgrading units. Sometimes it is better to build the board first and upgrade later. If you are learning something new from this guide, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. More Rush Royale strategy guides are coming soon. Now, let's go through some advanced tips that can dramatically improve your gameplay. Tip number 1. Avoid panic merging. When waves become stronger, many players start merging randomly. This often destroys the board structure and reduces overall damage. Stay calm and merge only when necessary. Tip number 2. Prepare for boss waves. Before bosses appear, try to stabilize the board and avoid risky merges. Losing your formation right before a boss can end the match instantly. Tip number 3. Maintain board flexibility. Always leave a few possible merge combinations available. A completely full board without merge options can limit your ability to react to bosses or bad draws. Tip number 4. Upgrade support units wisely. Sometimes upgrading support units gives more damage than upgrading Wukong directly. Understanding when to upgrade support cards is an important skill. If this guide helped you understand Wukong better, subscribe to the channel and like the video so more players can find this content. Let's quickly summarize everything. Wukong is a scaling damage hero that becomes stronger as the match progresses. His biggest strengths are clone mechanics, strong scaling, and powerful synergy with support units. His weaknesses include a slower early game, dependence on support cards, and vulnerability to board disruption from bosses. The best support units for Wukong include Dryad, Harlequin, Sword, Witch, and Summoner. And the most dangerous opponents include Monk, Cultist, Blade Dancer, Demon Hunter, and Robot decks. If you master board control, positioning, and support synergy, Wukong becomes one of the strongest heroes for climbing trophies. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and I'll see you in the next Rush Royale guide.